Alright guys, back here with another video for my 2020 arsenal and what I will be fishing. Late last year I added the Megabass Orochi XX Braillist. This is a bottom contact rod. This is jigs, T-rigs, and dark sleepers. It's a f5.5, so it's a medium heavy plus. It's got a soft tip, so it's good for, so you have a good connection to the bait, and it's on the bottom. The reel is the new 2020 Tatula SV in 8:1:1. I like this reel. The only thing I don't like, and this is probably something I'll end up changing, is the handle. It's a 90 millimeter, where it probably should, or 85, something like that. It should probably be closer to 100 on here, so you got that extra leverage. But right now I've got it spooled up with Sunline flipping fluoro. This is 18 pound. Next rod is my JDM Orochi XXX. This is a Destruction. It's extra heavy. It's a regular action, so it's got a deep bend, but it's got lots of power. I've used this for frogging and other big baits, like you see this Mag Draft on here. It's a 6-inch. Handles this thing like a boss. I can huck it out there with this Bantam MGL. This is a 7/4-1. The one thing that's different on this Bantam, and this is the way I bought it, is the handle has actually been replaced with the Metanium handle, and this is a 96 millimeter, so I actually have way more torque on it, and if I were to catch a fish, there's more power in it. This is by far the smoothest reel that I have just about fished. It comes close to the Steezes that I've fished. My Zillions don't touch this at all. This thing is just built like a tank. It's solid, it's smooth, and you're gonna love it if you ever try one out. Next rod, my Daiwa Chronos with a Ballistic 2500. Right now it's rigged up for a shaky head. But this is always 20-pound braid to probably a 12-pound or maybe a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader. But right now this is a 12. I like to throw tubes, wacky Senkos, small jigs, even small topwaters like a little Pop-R or the Rebel Popper, which I like a lot. I have a couple of them, and then I have some bigger poppers, but this is mostly tubes, small swim baits, like the little Kitech Easy Shiners or Fat Swing Impacts. Next is the Orochi XX Tour Versatile. This is a heavy, but with a medium fast action. I know it's not intended for spinnerbaits and chatterbaits, but it's what I use it for right now. It actually works really well. And it's paired up with my Zillion 6-3-1 with 16-pound FC Sniper. This line works really well. The only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't really come through cover when I'm cranking a spinnerbait or a chatterbait through. It feels kind of limp with the fluorocarbon, but for the most part, I'm staying above the weeds unless I'm throwing shallow. Yeah. This was my first high-end reel, this Zillion. And I call it high-end because for me, that was, at the time, that was a lot of money. It was $300. It was a graduation present to myself. And I had bought it with the Tatula Elite with the AGS guides, the 7-foot medium heavy Brent Ehrler. And I love that rod, but I ultimately came to decide that I did not like the AGS guides. So if there's a Daiwa rod or now St. Croix rod with the AGS guides, I won't touch them. It's not my thing. So this is a rod I just added this spring. This is a Destroyer. This is an F7.76 Valdivia. This is typically their frog rod, but I've seen a lot of people throw jigs on it. I've heard a lot of good things about this rod. And I have it paired up with the new Zillion 10. That's right, 10 gear ratio. This is spooled with 50-pound braid, but this handle is probably going to get replaced pretty quick. So I really like this reel, and I really do like this rod. I haven't caught anything on it yet, but I feel confident when I'm throwing it. So it balances well, and it's just comfortable for the most part. I have to change my grip up, but it's there. I like it. And then my newest addition, the Orochi XX F4.5 7.4 Enforcer. This is for your weightless plastics, your tubes, your ball head jigs. Yeah, I even throw some of the smaller dark sleepers on this, like the 2.4 inch and such. So this is actually rigged up with the Texas Rig Senko. I wanted to see how it handled it. Again, 20-pound braid to a floral leader. But I really do love this rod. Just their attention to detail on the Megabass line is something that I really appreciate. You kind of see this this purple line around the base where the reel seat is. I don't know, I just found it one day when I was fishing. I was like, that's kind of cool. So I wanted to show you guys that. My Dobyns Ecstasy 755. This is my jig rod or heavy cover. Lots of power in this rod. I can feel it when I'm hooking into fish. It really jacks them. And this is my Zillion 7.1 gear ratio. It's got the Hogtech handle on it. I love that handle. Super smooth, super lightweight. This thing just bombs them when I want to bomb a jig or skip them. So, it's got the Torzite guides. It's really a sweet rod. I wanted to try these rods as soon as I saw them get released. This is the Daiwa BLX. This is a JDM model that's come over, apparently, or something like that. So it's fastly becoming one of my favorites because the way it feels in my hand. It's got an air sensor reel seat, which is used on a lot of their higher end rods for Daiwa. It's a 7.4 medium heavy. And it's supposed to be an extra fast, but I'd probably say it's closer to a fast action. And then this is paired with my Steez 8 1-to-1. This is a JDM model. I actually traded for this reel, and I was really happy that I did. It's spooled with 12-pound InvizX. I'm not normally a Seaguar guy, but this line just works perfectly with this reel, so I'm not messing with it. And then my last really conventional rod, because the other two are just kind of niche specific for bass fishing and, well, for trout and panfish. This is my 704 CB Powell Inferno. I've had this rod for a few years now. Actually, it broke the first model that I got, but I replaced it through Powell. But I really do love this rod. It's super light. Throwing jerks and cranks on it, not a problem. Small top waters, it does really well with. So as you can see right now, I've got a pop wire tied on, a Rebel pop wire. Changed the hooks out. They've either been broken or bent. So that's always something that you need to be reminded of, is looking at your hooks. And then this is paired up with a Tatula SV in 6.3. It actually works out really well, and it balances on the rod very nicely. I'm running 30-pound braid to a 14-pound mono leader. So it's just my style. I've kind of come to enjoy the braid to fluoro or mono. So I don't really like fishing straight fluoro. I like braid to leader unless I absolutely need it. And then my last two rods are very niche. They're very specific in what they do. So this is my big bait rod. This is a swim bait rod I found off of Facebook Marketplace. This is a Cabela's ZX. They don't make this rod anymore, as Cabela's was bought out by Bass Pro. It's rated to 1 to 4 ounces. I've tested it up to 2.5. It feels really light in my hand for the length of it. It's 7'9". It's a Mod Fast, and yeah, it's a treat to throw. I've got Corrado K on here, spooled with 20-pound FC Sniper, 740 gear, 7.4 gear ratio, and right now it's got the Bait Sanity Antidote on it. One thing, if you're going to buy the Antidote, you need to change the hooks out immediately. Guys have told me and have had their hooks bend or break on like 2-pound fish, and they're just junk. So I've tried some Hayabusa hooks that I got from a local sporting goods store. I've never heard of them before, but they look good and they're super tacky. And then the split rings on here are Owner Hyperwire. They're 5s. Bait falls perfectly level when it pauses. So that's something you don't want to mess with, is the rate of fall when you're changing hooks. Make sure you get the right size trebles with your baits. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to throwing big baits. It's bigger baits this year. I know some people are like 4 ounces. Yeah, it's nothing. They hook like 8 and 10 ounce baits, but for me, this is a step up. So my last rod, which I was hoping to fish earlier in the spring, but I didn't get a chance to, is the new Cadence series by Dobyns. This is the 700, so it's an ultralight, or they call it extra light, fast action. 4 to 8 pound line, 16th to 5/16 ounce. It's really whippy. I've got it spooled up right now with 8-pound braid, Power Pro, to a 6-pound fluorocarbon leader. It's a 7-foot. Right now, these rods aren't released yet, and we're still waiting on them. Gary Dobyns did a trial run and basically sold these rods, 100 of each model that he had for the Cadence series, until they ran out. And I was able to pick this up for $100, and I paired it with the new Fuego LT in 1,000 size, which I thought was a good reel for the pairing. And then it also matches the color scheme too. I kind of actually intended that to happen. I was thinking about that Tatula LT, but I just didn't want to spend over $100 on a reel for panfish and trout. But I'm actually really looking forward to fishing this. It feels great when I'm casting with it. I haven't caught a fish yet with it, but I have confidence it's going to load up fine and handle the fight really well. So yeah, that's my 2020 rod lineup. And I hope to hear from you guys. Show me your rods, some of your favorite combos. Talk to you guys later. Bye.